I got swords on my back, time my ride back. Ninjas with me, niggas throwing stars at these bitches. Eating ramen noodles in the hood with my ninjas.
After his training with the older Kai, Gohan arrived on Earth to finish off Majin Buu, and at first, he easily had the edge over his opponent, but it had been 7 years, and once again, Gohan was the strongest amongst the Z fighters. Not finishing Buu off in time allowed him to absorb Gotenks and Piccolo, and by then, Buu was even too strong for Ultimate Gohan. Fast forward a little bit, and after Gohan gets absorbed as well, Goku has no other option other than to try and convince Vegeta that fusion between the two of them was the only answer. But the permanent fusion of the Potara earrings was only recently retconned in Dragon Ball Super to only be permanent between non-mortals, but what if that was never the case? What if the Potara fusion was permanent no matter who used it, and due to this, Vegito, the fusion of Goku and Vegeta, never disbanded and lived on to be the warrior and protector serving Universe 7 in the events of Dragon Ball Super. I was doing some looking around online and I found this story called Beyond Dragon Ball, and it details just that. A universe where Vegito never unfused after the Majin Buu saga, and the first thing we see is Beerus speaking to the Oracle Fish about the vision of that Super Saiyan God he had. The Oracle Fish confirms his theories, but Whis reminds Beerus that he authorized the destruction of planet Vegeta, which was home to all of the Saiyans in the past. After a quick look at his staff, however, Whis reveals that there are actually 4 Saiyans left, and one of them is on the planet of the North Kai, whom we call King Kai. Confused, Beerus wonders what business a mortal could have with the North Kai, but this is when Whis confirms him that this Saiyan seems to be a union of Prince Vegeta and Son Goku, the Saiyan who defeated Frieza. This obviously sparks a new interest in Beerus, and they decide to head off immediately. When we get to King Kai's planet, Vegito appears behind him, and he says that he's been feeling uneasy, so he felt like visiting. He asks King Kai if he's felt anything strange or any threats approaching, but King Kai reminds him that thanks to Vegito, the universe has been at peace. It's at this point King Kai seems to be rushing Vegito to leave, but he says that he also came here for more training equipment. King Kai agrees, giving him over 300 tons. The Supreme Kai is then seen telepathically communicating with King Kai, and King Kai asks, what could Beerus the Destroyer possibly want with him? And while Kibito Kai says that he doesn't know for sure, he asks that Vegito not be informed about the God of Destruction. Vegito is then seen standing right over his shoulder, however, and of course King Kai isn't able to keep a cool head with a secret this huge. Vegito asks him what's going on, which King Kai promptly replies with nothing, but then Vegito asks, who are those guys over there then? Full confidence, and he begins to try and attack Beerus, but the God of Destruction easily blocks his strikes. This catches Vegito off guard at first, as nobody has ever just effortlessly evaded all of his attacks like this, as Beerus asks, how does he even hope to defeat him when he can't even touch him? But this is when Vegito charges in once again, giving it another go. Beerus intends to flick him in the forehead when he approaches this time, the same way he did Goku in another universe, but this is when Vegito suddenly vanishes. When he appears behind Beerus, he's now a Super Saiyan, and when Beerus turns around, Vegito is able to land his first punch on him. Once Beerus is sent flying from this punch, Vegito then fires rapid ki blasts at him in an attempt to finish the battle, as he looks on and assumes that that should be enough. Beerus appears again unscathed and unbothered as he casually asks Whis, like, hey, aren't Saiyans supposed to have black hair or something? This is when Whis explains that this is a technique that some Saiyans have the ability to perform called Super Saiyan. Vegito charges Beerus once again, intending to hit him with everything he's got this time, but Beerus easily deflects all of his attacks with a single hand. He charges a huge amount of energy in a single punch, and it seems to blow Beerus away along with a huge chunk of King Kai's planet, but To his shock, Beerus appears right behind him again. This is just a tribute to how strong Beerus is compared to Vegito, but Vegito goes on to say how much of a problem he's having not being able to feel Beerus' ki, and he mentions that if Beerus actually tried, he'd probably be unconscious by now. So he begins to transform. Vegito transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 in a blind attempt to match Beerus' power. Of course, Beerus is still unamused as he stands still and tells Vegito to go ahead and attack him. He takes a step forward, disappearing, and then reappearing in front of Beerus, kicking him into the air with blinding speed. This actually impresses Beerus a bit, but Vegito rushes him again, trying to overwhelm him before he can think, and he launches him into the ground with a punch and begins to fire a big bang attack directly at Beerus. For the first time during this whole battle, Beerus actually looks surprised as this blast approaches, and it tears apart King Kai's planet. When the smoke clears, however, Beerus appears once again, saying that Vegito's pretty good for a mortal and the power of that last attack was actually pretty dangerous, but he says that now they're done. He appears directly in front of Vegito's face, but instead of blasting him away, he punches him in the stomach, knocking him unconscious as he falls back to base form. Beerus then turns to Whis, saying that it looks like they actually are done here, so they better go ask around the Earth next. And as they take off in the direction of the Saiyans on Earth, Vegito still lay unconscious, being no match for Beerus at this point in time.